Your Excellencies, the Minister of Commerce for the Sri Lankan High Commission, Dr. Lakshmini Mendes, Third Secretary of Commerce, Sri Lankan High Commission, Mr. Gaya Saranatha, the Worshipful, the Mayor and Mayoress of Stafford Borough Attorney and Hazel Nixon, ladies and gentlemen, the business owner of Stafford International Supermarket, Mr. Roshan Uwanwata, along with Thaj, and everybody at Tigerbowl, wish you a very big thank you for being here today and a warm welcome on this very cold day to a wonderful event that we have planned for you. We are starting today's event with a very special lighting the oil lamp by the guests. The flickering brightness that emanates from these oil lamps symbolises wisdom, hope and new beginnings. It is an integral part of Sri Lankan culture. The oil lamp is inextricably linked to the key moment of our lives, both happy occasions, special moments with family and friends, and of course special celebrations like this one here today. And one of the most memorable moments included in a traditional Sri Lankan oil lamp lighting ceremony where special guests take turns lighting an oil lamp signifies the importance of the event and prosperity. And I believe Roshan would like to say a few words of welcome to you today.
Sri Lankan High Commission in London, and we were still waiting for a few guests, but we have to start on time. So therefore, I would like to invite you to lighting the oil lamp. Please make way to the oil lamp. Thank you.
Entitled Our Heritage and Story Behind Ceylon Tea and How the UK Can Help Sri Lanka to Promote Ceylon Tea.
Thank you. And good morning everyone. And also the Lord Mayor of Stafford, Mr. Tony Nixon, and Mayoress, Mrs. Hazel Nixon, and Mr. Uyanwata and his team and friends. First of all, let me thank you, Mr. Yanmatha, for inviting us from the mission and also having this beautiful opportunity for a tea tasting. So, and we are very privileged to be part of it and also to support you with all your future endeavors as well. So to start with, what I thought was to take you briefly through a bit of history and how you process tea very quickly, and what the meaning of the Ceylon T Logo, and from where does it come from, and bit of insights into some statistics and the way forward. So to start with, when someone gets to know that I am from Sri Lanka, they will openly say a few things which quite associates with Sri Lanka. One thing is, what first come into your memory would be a holiday. They will say, oh, it was a wonderful holiday that we had in Sri Lanka, very memorable one. Or if it is sort of a cricket lover or a sports person, it will be cricket for them. And thirdly, another one might say, oh, my doctor is a Sri Lankan, or my accountant is a Sri Lankan, or my friend is a Sri Lankan. At the same time, more elderly generation would say, I love Ceylon tea. I love that taste. And that's it, that's with me for, I crave for it. We had that experience like 1 month ago, where the mission went to meet the Chelsea pensioners. And they were fascinated with the Ceylon tea, and we had a tea tasting event as well. So, to come back, so from where did we generate this tea? And actually it was one of these Scottish person who was a 16-year-old lad who went to Sri Lanka. And he was assigned to this Lolakandara estate. But by that time it was not tea, it was coffee. So he would have worked in the coffee estate. And by 1860s, what happened, the coffee was a disaster due to a fungus disease. And this particular person, James Taylor, out of all that lot, was what I think is more of a pioneering and entrepreneurial person, because he thought of why not we have another alternative crop. And he went to India to search of that knowledge. And he got the know-how, technology, and he came back and he started with 10 acres of tea. And it took him a while. After that 10 became 20, and by 1870s he exported 28 pounds of tea, value of like 58 rupees to UK. So that was the beginning of this huge industry in Sri Lanka. Today we have around 2 million people working in these tea estates, not only in the estates but in the tea sector. And that's about 2% of our labor force. And also, how much does it contribute to our economy? Our exports are about 11 billion US dollars and tea is 1.3. And at the same time, it doesn't have any value addition, unlike apparel. So that's the sole income, that's worth of it. And with regard to the process, so how does this beautiful little tea leaf becomes a little granule like this? Yeah, it goes through a process. There are 6 steps, I would say. First, plucking. Has anyone plucked tea? Oh, good. So it's the 2 leaves and the unopened bud you plucking. That's the first stage. And basically, in Sri Lanka, still we go for the manual plucking, even though there is machinery as well. So then it goes to the withering. It's a process, very heated process, where you put it on the racks and get the moist out of it. Then thereafter is the rolling process, when the leaves get twisted and crushed and the enzymes and the juices comes out of it and you get the taste and the flavor. And thereafter get fermented, cooling process, and until the copper brownish color comes in. Then again it goes to the firing to become blackish, and after that grading. So you may have heard of GOP and OP, that is a broken orange pekoe. So likewise, there are different gradings. At the same time, you might have heard of the specialty teas. There are the golden tips and the silver tips, which is very expensive. So this is basically the process of it. And then where does it grow? You may wonder, where does it grow? Can it grow in your garden, or is it in a special places? Now Sri Lanka is a land of beauty and also very diverse. So tea also have that distinct. So it comes from 3 agro climatic zones: low, mid-grown and high-grown. So the low-grown would be Kandy and Sabaragamu, I'm sure. There were some pop-up banners as well. So low is Sabaragamu and that area, and mid is the Kandy. High-grown is, that is again according to the elevation, is over 4,000 feet from the sea level. You get Nuwara and Uva, Dimbula and Udapusala. Among that also, there you get differences. And I'm sure our tea test Mesha will be able to explain it as well, because it's different. The color is different, the taste is different, the flavor is different, aroma is different. So it's different. And if you want to try with little bit of milk, Kandy would be the best. Nuwara is like the champagne. It's very light color and soft. So that is a little bit of from where it comes from, and it gives the distinctiveness. And the Ceylon T Logo. Have you seen the Ceylon T Logo? I'm sure you all would have. Yeah, it's with the lion. Lion, and how many dots you can think of? Maybe you can count after this. It's 27 dots. So how do they award it? It's done by the Ceylon Tea Board, and that assures this is purely from Sri Lanka, and it's 100% black tea originated in Sri Lanka, confirmed with the ISO 3720. So the quality is there. So our tea, Ceylon Tea, with pride we can say we are high quality tea. And coming back to a little bit of statistics, Sri Lanka is the 4th country in the world when it comes to production. It's about 9% of production comes from Sri Lanka. And the 3rd export, we're about roughly around 20%. And mainly we export black tea, orthodox black tea. And where does it go? The other question would be. So main markets are Turkey, Russia, Iran, Iraq, the Middle East market, and also Japan and China as well. So where is UK? So UK is in the 25th position right at the moment. And it's about 1% of our tea country. And when you compare the UK figures, we are at the 5th place for 2019 figures. First is Kenya. 2nd is India. 3rd is Malawi. So the Kenya is about 40% actually, and Sri Lanka is about 4%. So it can, the in between can change, but why is this? One may wonder. So for a while we had lost it. Once again, the mission is very keen, and we are working with the tea board as well to get there. But how? The consumer behavior would have changed. And so what are the tea that we can cater to this market? It may not be fully black tea. So we know it should be flavored tea, blended tea, instant tea, herbal tea as well. So during COVID, that was very quite interesting for us to see. When the exports were dropping because of apparel, the tea was picking up, basically the herbal teas, because the properties that tea has in for immunity booster. Not only for immunity, for other things as well, like for heart and the diabetic conditions and so on. It has a lot of properties. And if you read these brochures, you can get some more idea how tea can help you as well. So from the mission side, it's once again, it's interesting. Now tea is for drinking as well as it's been used for other products like spa products, tea tablets. And the latest is artisan tea, the tea made out of hand rather than going through a process, and it picks a high price. So our focus is to promote tea in the niche markets. So that is the strategy. So this kind of promotions, tea tasting is useful. And I see these beautiful flavored teas as well. Because we have something to offer to everyone, for the younger generation, older generation, and for the health conscious people. But we have to create awareness. So these kind of events are useful to create awareness. So finally, I will not take much of your time. To capture everything, I will just take one quote from Sir William Gladstone, who was one of the PMs in UK. He says, if you are cold, tea will warm you. If you are heated, it will cool you. If you are depressed, it will cheer you up. If you are excited, it will calm you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Lucas, Minister of Commerce for the Sri Lankan High Commission. And now we come to something we've all been looking forward to. Having heard all about the exquisite Sri Lankan tea, we have the tea tester ceremony, an opportunity for a bit of social networking and, of course, making new friends. Thank you.
Ideal time. It depends on your taste and this is the green tea.
Pleasure to be invited here this morning, along with our distinguished visitors from the Sri Lankan High Commission in London. This Ceylon Tea taster session is a marvellous way to launch the first collaborated business community project between the Stafford International Supermarket and the Tigerbowl Chinese takeaway. The Tigerbowl have already received a national award for small and medium businesses for positive impact on the community, due to its many initiatives during this pandemic, raising money for many good causes and supplying meals for key workers. I wish both businesses all the best for the future.
First of all, there should be a reason. Now, you suddenly hear the name Tigerbowl. What's it doing at International Supermarket? Are they going hand in hand? Let me put it in this way. When Roshan first came into the shop, he gave me this idea. I was focusing on the projects that we initiate in Stafford. But then he opened up my insight to different things going on back in Sri Lanka, where himself and myself, we have roots from. So it's not about a failing or limited political system or leadership group, but above all, it's the heartbeat of innocent moms, dads, kids who are growing up in that country. And Ceylon Tea is a message for everyone. I'll tell you how it works. It's in the every heartbeat of every dream of them innocent people. Like they mentioned to you, when they pluck the tree plants, tree leaves, the dreams of a mom. Let's say, how I'm gonna put the food on the table for my kids. And the dream of a father who thinks, how I'm gonna afford the studies for my growing children, to send them through primary and secondary education. And above all, one person, a kid with a funny name, who believes he also has a place in this world, but at the same time on his shoulders, sick parents, and how I'm going to take care of them. All these hopes you can find in that country. So Ceylon Tea is one way of sending that message. Because of that, every time you purchase them products, you are giving the hopes for the people who are fighting with with less privileges. With that message, like Carol rightly mentioned, I'd like to invite few people because this is a good cause, so they should be recognized. First of all, there were so many people who came and gave a helping hand to Roshan. One of them, Mahesh. I've not met you before. Today is the first time. We just said hi. We were that busy, but that's fine because you brought the goodies to celebrate and recognize our guests. So we'll start with that event first. So I'd like to invite Mahesh and Roshan, both of them, to join me here to present them gifts to our guests today. Most of these people, especially the two at the front, are guest of honors. I'm familiar with every step of the way, most of the time, half quarter of the year. They've been supporting us by word, influence, and that goes to the mayor of Stafford, Tony Nixon. So I'd like to invite Tony to accept this small token of appreciation from Roshan and Mahesh to say, thank you for making this event a success. Tony? And then I'd like to invite Mrs. Gaya Senaratna to accept her appreciation, the token of appreciation from us for coming to this event. And then Dr. Lakmini Mendis, representing the Sri Lankan High Commission, to accept the award from Mahesh and Roshan as well. Thank you for coming all the way from London and giving us the insight about Ceylon Tea. And this person, I'll say my words because she will come into picture in a minute as well. So when I met her at Six Towns Radio, I thought, you know what, usually I do the announcing, but this person got a voice and at the same time the words come like water. This is the person I should have in my next event. When Roshan came up with this idea, I said, you know what, no, I know the exact songbird I need on these microphones. Songbird, Carol, this is for you. Mahesh and Roshan, thank you very much for joining us for that event. And now, I need to explain why Tigerbowl is here and why we are telecasting this event. It's not only to support Roshan, it's not only to support Ceylon Tea, it is a message for our town. Tigerbowl has been always about the town. So I thought there is no better day or no better place or a better time to recognize some of the great heroes. When I call them heroes, they didn't have guns or swords. Instead, they had that willpower to go above and beyond and achieve greater things. And because of that, we've decided to recognize 3 community champions today. So, the first community champion, she was a business person. She had a startup, and then she was extremely busy today when I spoke to her dad. She doesn't know even why she's here, I think, because I told your dad not to tell you. The reason is, in this town, if one thing we learned during the pandemic, people lost their jobs. There were pilots who were working as delivery drivers, but that echoed a message, and that message was none other than having a small business, working for yourself. That's the best way to go forward. So Katie has done that during the lockdown. She started her own coffee shop and selling them, and she realized there is more potential. Having a young person who's starting and emerging as a businesswoman is a big thing. When I went with the mayor to have a coffee in there, When I heard a short story, I thought, you know what, we should recognize this. The reason for that is we will inspire so many young people to come forward, not to be afraid, but to launch their own businesses. So let me find what we got for you, Katie. So at Tigerbowl, we believe not giving physical things like, a goodie bag or something, or let's say some biscuit or food vouchers. We do that, but to recognize community champions, the biggest thing that we can do is we can dedicate something in their name for the generations to come. And that we have done by planting a tree. We've already planted 60 plus trees from last year onwards. So now we have dedicated a tree in your business's name, Katie, the coffee bar and kitchen. So what I would like to do is I'd like the mayor, because mayor already volunteered with Katie that I'm more than happy to come and do another opening, if you remember. So I thought this is the moment. So you can have an official photo with the mayor when you are accepting this token. So it's a tree planted in your business's name at the National Forest. Tony, the mayor of Stafford, if I can kindly invite you to present this to Katie. Brilliant. And then there was another person who opened my ears to a totally different avenue, and that was, there were so many people, so many stories. When you drive the car, you realize in the radio people talk about cancer, but I was not open to that world till I lost my dad last year. And then still I was quiet, even if I did other projects. Then when I heard Casey's story, and when she started working for us, she inspired me to look into, how we can help other people, and at the same time, if there's research going on, how we can help the cancer research. So that influence live within Casey. When so many thousands of men and women, when they are diagnosed with cancer, just like Casey, but they give up life. Instead, she chose the way to battle through, fight through. So every time I see Casey, I see that, willpower. So I thought she should be recognized. She's one of the community ambassadors to send that message to this town and beyond. So Hazel, if you would like to join me to present that award, actually we planted a tree again in your name. Casey, if you want to come down. With the work she's done and with all the projects she's done, she has raised nearly £5,000 towards Bone Cancer Research UK, and she was recognized by them as well. And now I'm having another one because Carol just read two. Purposely I did that. The reason for that is I saved my words for this moment because I've seen you doing so many things. You are working with Paul Dean at Six Towns Radio. You're promoting good things, you're helping local businesses, you're spreading great vibes, positive vibes to our community. So Carol, I think you deserve the appreciation and recognition. We have planted a tree in your name, like you say at the radio. Not us, maybe not you, not me, but the generations to come. The children who we are soothing now. One day when they grow up, then trees will give the shade for them. So, in Carol's name, we planted a tree. The mayor, if I can invite you once more, to present this one.
I was not expecting this. Thank you very much.
And Carol mentioned about Christmas Big Bang. That's one of the reasons I'm here. I'll be straightforward with you. I'll walk to the businesses and I'll say, we have this good intention. It's a good project. yes, you can get marketing out of it, but at the same time, it'll help the community. Tigerbowl maintained this tradition for 2 years. We've been feeding West Midlands Ambulance Service on Christmas Day every day. This time, Wagon and Horses, the pub, they are sponsoring the drinks, and then Roshan from International Supermarket, they're gonna bring all the goodie bags, groceries for our West Midlands Ambulance Service staff, and then these delicious desserts, they're gonna provide us desserts as well. And hopefully, once I finish having conversation with you and your dad, maybe you are happy to give some vouchers or something. So it's really good. So all these businesses have come together on Christmas Day to do this great event, and more info to everyone who are watching us live from home to follow. So that brings this event to a conclusion. So before I conclude this event, the mayor and the mayoress and all the representatives from Sri Lankan High Commission and Mahesh for bringing the goodie bags and everything. You made the day for our guests, I assume. And all the guests who invested their time, we thank them. And everyone who are behind this, especially we've seen Post House and Soup Kitchen later. Some of us may be going there. So all of them in their own ways, they've helped us. And some of them, I mean, just the guys from Post House, they came in, they just brought the table, and they never asked from Russia, you know what, you need to bring them back. If they need them back, they're gonna come and take it. I am pretty sure Russia is gonna keep them forever in here. So, feel sorry for them. Anyway, now everything's done, and Stafford, thank you very much. All these businesses are having that strength to promote, build, spread because of you. Shop local. Pandemic taught us a lesson, but it's time to make this town a bright place, a better place. And I am pretty sure we can do this. But without you, it's going to be hard. So we need every ounce of your support to make sure that these businesses are rising non-stop. With that intention, Carol, I think if you have any final words to conclude the event, I'm happy with it. So thanks a lot, everyone. Loads of love.
For the first time in my life, I'm actually speechless. I was not expecting that. Thank you so very, very much. I've enjoyed the event. I hope you've all enjoyed the event. And thank you to the Sri Lankan High Commission for coming along today. And let's see what we can do for Ceylon Tea. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed the event. I have. And a huge thank you to Roshan and to Raj too. Enjoy the rest of the day.